Hi again then guys, and so we've got another special projects build for you today, and this time it's kind of inspired by a real car, but not strictly speaking a replica. It's inspired by the British GT Racing Cup class Vauxhall VX220, which ran in VX racing colours. Now of course we can't get the livery to look anything like the real car, but as far as specs and overall appearance, it's not too far off the actual VX220 race car. So I'll show you first of all what I've done to get the visual look of the car, and with this particular model not being a replica, there is quite a bit of room for personal variation. Then of course, more importantly, we'll go over to the tuning garage for the setup of the car, and then finally out to the track to see what it can do. As far as replicating the visual style of this car, it's actually a fairly simple one to do because there aren't that many visual modifications that you can do to the car. As far as the rear wing, I've gone for the Type E wing support, which is this very thin framed rear wing. We've gone for the Type B wing itself, which comes with this little lump in the centre of the wing, which looks pretty good. And we've gone for the Type C winglets. As far as the size of the wing, we've gone for the maximum width and then height also at the maximum. For the rims, we've gone for size up 1, and I've gone for these BBS LMR wheels, which are pretty similar to the kind of rims you'd usually find on a GT class racing car. There are no additional meters because it's not a premium model. It's kind of a semi-premium because it looks pretty good, but it still doesn't have an interior. As far as the colour that I've gone for is a red which is fairly similar to the red that you find on the actual race car. It's called Colton Red, as you can see, and it comes from the first generation Mitsubishi Evo. And it's actually a really good looking red. You can't really see it in this recording, but in the game it's a really rich looking red. It has kind of a semi-matte-ish kind of finish to it. As far as the rim colour, and also the brakes as well, I've gone for, as you can see, a solid black, which is actually the glitched black, which comes from, of course, the Peugeot Vision GT car. In my case, I went for the red number 764 to get that, but from what I understand, you can also get it from other colours from the Peugeot as well. If you don't know how to get that glitched colour, I'll put a link in the description below for the tutorial on how to get that, but I think most people probably know it by now. So that's it for the visual look of the car. Like I said, fairly simple to achieve. So now let's go over to the tuning garage for the mechanical setup. Now for the mechanical semi-replica of this car, because like I said, it's not an exact replica of the real machine, the power is not quite the same as the real car. The real car runs in excess of 300 horsepower, but it's not really explained from any sources that I could find exactly how much power it's running. So we've given it the maximum horsepower just to make it more competitive. Also with the weight, I wasn't able to find how heavy this particular car is. There are very, very few specs around on the net that I could find about this particular car. So if there are any of you who can find those, feel free to put that in the comments below to help others who want to actually replicate it rather than just making a tune in the style of the car. But as it happens, we've made it pretty PP specific. It's very competitive at this PP as well, 525. I've gone for racing soft tyres, but obviously that's personal preference. For the ride height, we've got it as low as possible, front and rear. Springs we've increased to 975 and 1275. Dampers to 5, anti-roll to 7, camber on 2 with neutral toe. You may want to go for a little bit less camber because the handling is very good on this car, but that's just a rough place to work from, really. As far as the gearbox, you want an auto setting of 149. Then for the individual gears, we've got 3.4, 2.3, 1675, 1.3 and 1 with a final drive of 2.5. For the diff, the lowest initial torque, although really wheel spin isn't that much of an issue with this car. Highest acceleration, sensitivity and braking sensitivity of 10. You want all of your power upgrades on this one, which brings you nicely up to 400 horsepower. Downforce set as high as possible, of course. The full weight loss package, and then as you can see, I've given it a 71 kilo ballast, put all the way to the front, to both bring it up to a more realistic weight to the actual GT Cup car, and also to bring it closer to a 50-50 split, and of course to that 525 pp level. So that's it for the tune setup. Now let's take it out to the track to see what it can do. Overall, as I said, this particular Special Projects build isn't really built to be so much of a replica, more as in the style of the GT Racing VX220, but either way, whether you're someone who would like it to be closer to the actual car and who would make the specs accordingly, or if you're just someone who, like me, just enjoys the spirit of the car, then this is a pretty good tune to work from. It has excellent handling, as you'd expect. I personally believe that the VX220 has far better handling than the Lotus Elise. There are definitely people who would disagree with that, but that's just my opinion. And personally, I prefer the VX220 to the Elise. I prefer the more angular, slab-like design. And overall, it's a great little track car. It's pretty quick for the 400 horsepower, relatively lightweight even with the ballast, and it's very fun to drive. So if you decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun and of course competitive. And if you'd like to see more special projects like this as soon as they come out, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And as always, thanks for watching.